Welcome to Fluent Career English. Today we are going to practice an important workplace communication skill. Our topic today is how to ask for help at work in English. This lesson is designed for A2, B1 English learners who want to improve their workplace communication and speak more confidently in professional situations. In every workplace, people sometimes need help. Projects can become complicated, deadlines can be challenging, and sometimes instructions may not be completely clear. Asking for help is not a weakness. In professional environments, asking for help is a sign of responsibility and teamwork. When you ask for help politely and clearly, coworkers understand the situation and can support you more effectively. In today's lesson, you will learn how to ask for help professionally, how to explain your situation clearly, and how to communicate respectfully when requesting support. You will practice workplace conversations, useful sentence patterns, vocabulary, and speaking exercises. When you see the word repeat, say the sentence out loud so you can practice your speaking. Let's begin with a simple workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine you are working on a project and you are unsure about part of the task. What would you say to a coworker?
I would explain the situation and ask politely for help.
That is a great approach.
Clear communication helps coworkers understand the problem.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that request. I would appreciate your help with this task. I would appreciate your help with this task. I want to make sure I complete the project correctly. I want to make sure I complete the project correctly. Could you please review this information with me? Could you please review this information with me? Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn a useful structure for asking for help. First, explain the situation. Second, describe the difficulty. Third, ask for assistance politely. Let's practice. I am currently working on the project report. I am currently working on the project report. However, I have a question about one section of the data. However, I have a question about one section of the data. Could you help me review this information? Could you help me review this information? Excellent. Now let's listen to another workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine you are learning a new system at work and you need guidance. What would you say?
I would ask a coworker if they have time to explain the process.
That is a professional request.
It shows respect for their time.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. I am learning the new system and I have a few questions. I am learning the new system and I have a few questions. If you have time, could you explain this process to me? If you have time, could you explain this process to me? Your guidance would help me complete the task more effectively. Your guidance would help me complete the task more effectively. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn some useful vocabulary for asking for help at work. Assistance. Assistance means help or support. I would appreciate your assistance with this project task. I would appreciate your assistance with this project task. Guidance. Guidance means advice or direction. Your guidance would help me understand the process better. Your guidance would help me understand the process better. Support. Support means helping someone complete a task. Team support is important for completing complex projects. Team support is important for completing complex projects. Excellent. Now let's practice another workplace situation. Sophia, imagine you are working on a tight deadline and you need help from a coworker. What would you say?
I would explain the deadline and ask if they could assist me.
That is a clear and respectful request.
Explaining the situation helps coworkers understand why help is needed.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I am currently working on an urgent task with a tight deadline. I am currently working on an urgent task with a tight deadline. If you have time, I would appreciate your help reviewing this section. If you have time, I would appreciate your help reviewing this section. Your support would help ensure the work is completed accurately. Your support would help ensure the work is completed accurately. Excellent speaking practice. Now it is your turn to practice speaking. Imagine you are working on a project and you need help understanding the instructions. You can start like this. I have a question about the project instructions. I have a question about the project instructions. Could you help clarify this part of the task? Could you help clarify this part of the task? Your explanation would help me complete the work correctly. Your explanation would help me complete the work correctly. Excellent. Now let's discuss a common mistake when asking for help. Sometimes people ask for help in a way that sounds too direct. For example, someone might say this: "Do this task for me." This request may sound rude or demanding. A better response sounds more polite. Could you please help me review this task? Could you please help me review this task? Your feedback would help improve the final result. Your feedback would help improve the final result. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice a shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Asking for help helps teams solve problems more effectively. Asking for help helps teams solve problems more effectively.
Clear communication allows coworkers to understand the situation. Clear communication allows coworkers to understand the situation.
Polite requests show professionalism and respect. Polite requests show professionalism and respect.
Therefore, asking for help is an important workplace skill. Therefore, asking for help is an important workplace skill.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's continue the conversation. Sophia, why is it important to ask for help when you need it?
Because asking for help prevents mistakes and improves teamwork.
That is correct.
When coworkers support each other, projects become easier to complete.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Asking for help helps prevent misunderstandings and mistakes. Asking for help helps prevent misunderstandings and mistakes. Collaboration allows teams to complete tasks more successfully. Collaboration allows teams to complete tasks more successfully. Therefore, teamwork is essential in professional environments. Therefore, teamwork is essential in professional environments. Excellent. Let's continue practicing how to ask for help at work in English. In this section, we will practice asking for help during meetings, project discussions, and collaborative tasks. In professional environments, people often ask for help while working on projects with coworkers. Asking for help clearly helps teams solve problems faster and complete tasks more efficiently. Let's begin with a workplace scenario. Sophia, imagine you are in a team meeting and you need help understanding part of the project. What would you say?
I would explain my question and ask the team for clarification.
That is a professional approach.
Asking questions during meetings helps everyone understand the task better.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I would like to ask a question about the project requirements. I would like to ask a question about the project requirements. I want to make sure I understand the instructions correctly. I want to make sure I understand the instructions correctly. Could someone explain this part of the task in more detail? Could someone explain this part of the task in more detail? Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another workplace situation. Sometimes coworkers need help reviewing their work. Sophia, imagine you prepared a report and you want a coworker to review it. What would you say?
I would ask for feedback politely.
That is a great communication strategy.
Feedback helps improve the quality of the work.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. I would appreciate your feedback on this report. I would appreciate your feedback on this report. Your suggestions could help improve the final version. Your suggestions could help improve the final version. Please let me know if you notice anything that needs improvement. Please let me know if you notice anything that needs improvement. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another common workplace situation. Sometimes you may need help solving a problem. Sophia, imagine you are facing a technical challenge during a project. How would you ask a coworker for help?
I would explain the problem and ask if they have experience with the issue.
That is a clear and professional approach.
It helps the coworker understand the situation.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I am currently facing a challenge with this part of the project. I am currently facing a challenge with this part of the project. Have you worked on a similar task before? Have you worked on a similar task before? Your experience could help me find a solution. Your experience could help me find a solution. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn a few additional phrases that professionals use when asking for help. Could you guide me through this process? Could you guide me through this process? I would appreciate your advice on this task. I would appreciate your advice on this task. Your experience could help us complete the project more effectively. Your experience could help us complete the project more effectively. Excellent. Now let's practice another workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine your coworker is very busy, but you still need help. What would you say?
I would acknowledge their schedule and ask politely if they have time later.
That is very respectful communication.
Respecting a coworker's time helps maintain good relationships.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I understand you may be busy right now. I understand you may be busy right now. If you have time later, I would appreciate your help with this task. If you have time later, I would appreciate your help with this task. Your advice would help me complete the work more accurately. Your advice would help me complete the work more accurately. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's discuss a common mistake when asking for help at work. Sometimes people ask vague questions. For example, someone might say this: "Can you help me?" This question is unclear because it does not explain the situation. A better response includes details. I am working on the project report, and I have a question about the data analysis section. I am working on the project report, and I have a question about the data analysis section. Could you help me review this part of the report? Could you help me review this part of the report? Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Asking for help clearly helps coworkers understand the situation. Asking for help clearly helps coworkers understand the situation.
Providing details makes it easier for others to assist you. Providing details makes it easier for others to assist you.
Respectful requests help maintain strong professional relationships. Respectful requests help maintain strong professional relationships.
Therefore, clear communication improves teamwork. Therefore, clear communication improves teamwork.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's continue the conversation. Sophia, why do you think teamwork is important when asking for help?
Because teamwork allows people to share knowledge and experience.
That is correct.
When coworkers support each other, projects become easier to complete.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Teamwork helps coworkers solve problems more effectively. Teamwork helps coworkers solve problems more effectively. Sharing knowledge improves the quality of work. Sharing knowledge improves the quality of work. Therefore, collaboration is essential in professional environments. Therefore, collaboration is essential in professional environments. Excellent. In this final section, we will practice longer workplace conversations about asking for help professionally. You will learn how to ask for help during challenging situations, how to explain your needs clearly, and how to maintain professional communication with coworkers. In professional environments, asking for help often happens during difficult projects or unexpected problems. Clear communication helps coworkers understand the situation and work together to solve it. Let's begin with a workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine you are working on an important project and you encounter a problem with the data analysis. What would you say to your coworker?
I would explain the problem clearly and ask for their advice.
That is a professional response.
Explaining the situation helps coworkers understand how they can help.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I encountered a challenge while reviewing the data for this project. I encountered a challenge while reviewing the data for this project. I would appreciate your advice on how to analyze this information correctly. I would appreciate your advice on how to analyze this information correctly. Your experience could help me resolve this issue more efficiently. Your experience could help me resolve this issue more efficiently. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another workplace scenario. Sometimes coworkers need help prioritizing tasks when they have many responsibilities. Sophia, imagine you are managing several tasks and you feel overwhelmed. How would you ask for help?
I would explain my workload and ask for guidance.
That is a responsible approach.
Clear communication helps managers understand the situation.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I am currently working on several tasks, and I want to ensure I prioritize them correctly. I am currently working on several tasks, and I want to ensure I prioritize them correctly. Could you help me decide which task should be completed first? Could you help me decide which task should be completed first? Your guidance would help me manage my time more effectively. Your guidance would help me manage my time more effectively. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another scenario. Imagine you are collaborating with coworkers on a complex project. Sophia, what would you say if you needed help understanding part of the process?
I would explain the situation and ask if someone could walk me through the steps.
That is an excellent strategy.
Learning from coworkers helps improve skills and teamwork.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. I would like to understand this process more clearly. I would like to understand this process more clearly. Could you walk me through the steps involved in completing this task? Could you walk me through the steps involved in completing this task? Your explanation would help me complete the work more accurately. Your explanation would help me complete the work more accurately. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's discuss another common mistake when asking for help. Some people apologize too much or sound unsure. For example, someone might say this: "Sorry, I'm really bad at this and I cannot do it." This response may sound unconfident. A stronger response sounds professional and solution-focused. "I would appreciate your guidance on this task so I can complete it correctly." I would appreciate your guidance on this task so I can complete it correctly. Your advice will help me improve my understanding of the process. Your advice will help me improve my understanding of the process. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice a longer shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Asking for help professionally shows responsibility and teamwork. Asking for help professionally shows responsibility and teamwork.
Clear explanations help coworkers understand how they can assist you. Clear explanations help coworkers understand how they can assist you.
Collaboration allows teams to solve problems more efficiently. Collaboration allows teams to solve problems more efficiently.
Therefore, asking for help is an important workplace skill. Therefore, asking for help is an important workplace skill.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's have one final conversation. Sophia, why is it important to ask for help when facing challenges at work?
Because asking for help prevents mistakes and improves teamwork.
That is correct.
When coworkers support each other, projects become easier to complete.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Asking for help helps teams solve problems more effectively. Asking for help helps teams solve problems more effectively. Clear communication allows coworkers to support each other. Clear communication allows coworkers to support each other. Therefore, collaboration is essential for successful teamwork. Therefore, collaboration is essential for successful teamwork. Excellent. Now it is time for the final speaking challenge. Imagine you are working on a project and you encounter a difficult task. You need help from a coworker to complete the work successfully. Listen to this example answer. I am currently working on an important task and I would appreciate your assistance. I am currently working on an important task and I would appreciate your assistance. I want to ensure that I complete this task correctly. I want to ensure that I complete this task correctly. Could you review this section with me and share your suggestions? Could you review this section with me and share your suggestions? Now it is your turn. Imagine you are speaking with a coworker and asking for help with a project. Explain the situation clearly and ask for assistance politely. Take a moment and say your answer out loud. Excellent work. Today you practiced how to ask for help professionally, explain your situation clearly, and communicate respectfully with coworkers. These communication skills are extremely valuable for teamwork, collaboration, and professional growth. The more you practice these conversations, the more confident you will become when speaking English in professional environments. Thank you for learning with us on Fluent Career English. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep building your confidence in English for your career.